Hey everyone, tonight is the night, one of my favorite nights of the whole year. It is Oscar night. No matter who wins tonight, we get to do what we all love most. Talk about movies, celebrate the best. Let's do it. So welcome to your official Oscar pre-show. I'm Perri, and clearly I'm in some great company tonight. If you missed all this red carpet coverage that's going on right now, all you need to know is what we're wearing right now. So, John Rocha, what are those glasses that you're wearing?
Yeah, these are my transition glasses that make me look cool with the sunglasses and the regular. So, it's just so you can't see my eyes while I'm making these predictions.
And of course, Mark Ellis, everybody needs to know where this brand new blazer came from.
Ben Bateman's closet. He wasn't wearing it, so I figured I'd put it on for the Oscars. Very excited that we get to do this and not watch the red carpet because I find the red carpet interviews nauseating.
And of course, we have Dennis Tzeng with us, who always looks wonderful.
Yeah, I dress like this every day,
you
right?
Do,
like every day I come in the office, whether I'm on Movie Talk or not.
You have a Rick and Morty shirt
like
under that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then we're all good. All right. We need to jump into this because we have a lot of categories we have to cover right now. We're going to kick it off by talking about the big one. We're just going for it. It is Best Picture. In that category, the nominees are Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Rocha, pressure is on you first. I need to know who you think will win and who you think should win this award.
The Shape of Water should win. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri will win. I just feel that the momentum from the BAFTAs, the momentum going across for this film since the Golden Globes has been overwhelming. And it's like that little engine that could. And I just have a feeling it's going to pull an upset tonight and it's going to win.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of open to that idea just because I'm busy doing my pools. And I'm also with the betting odds, too, because I did one of those ones where if the odds aren't in that movie's favor, the payout is bigger. So I started to warm up to it for that reason. But I think The Shape of Water should win this award. Surprise, surprise. It was one of my favorite movies of last year. And also, when you think it won the PGA, it won the DGA, I think that it is still the favorite to win, but if anything sneaks in there and takes it, I think it is 3 Billboards, and if not 3 Billboards, I do think Get Out has a chance, because let's not forget, the way that they're voting on this right now is that preferential ballot system, and that tends to mean the movie that is going to win is the one that is most generally liked, not the one that is most passionately liked, and then also has some people putting it at the bottom of the list, too. Does that influence your picks, Ellis?
I think Rocha's crazy. I think that the little engine that could, or in Nemiroff terms, the brave little toaster, is Get Out, because that has been going on the longest. That came out in February, and it still is picking up steam. I think it's got a great head going into this final run, if you will, and I think the 3 Billboards petered out earlier in award season already because it missed some late nominations, some late wins, and Martin McDonagh not getting nominated for Best Director for the Oscar told me a lot about how the Academy might feel about 3 Billboards as a whole. I think it's going to get some votes. I do not think it wins. Shape of Water is still my favorite to win. I think Get Out is now my secondary one, tied right up there with 3 Billboards, and don't rule out Call Me By Your Name just yet.
I like the sound of that. So that means we have 2 Shape of Waters, 1 3 Billboards. What do you got, Dennis?
I think Shape of Water should win, and I'm going to stick with it winning. However, there's been a lot more buzz about Get Out in the last couple of weeks that there might be some small push. I mean, 3 Billboards won at the Golden Globes, and that also has a chance. But Shape of Water, I just think will appeal to the Academy members more so.
And I saw your Twitter poll earlier today, and I voted in it, and I voted for Shape of Water, but I was surprised that Shape of Water was the winner in your poll, but Get Out got a lot of love on there. So,
well, we see those articles that came out saying that the older Academy Award voters were not looking at Get Out as an Oscar film, and also the Independent Spirit Awards. I think it's 4 out of 5 or 6 out of 7 years that film has gone on to win Best Picture. So there's a lot going forward for Get Out to on both sides of it to see if it'll take it. But if it does take it, I think it'll be monumental.
I think what it comes down to is that if Nana was a voting member of the Academy, she would vote for Shape of Water. So that's what we should all bet on. All right, we're moving on to the second category for our pre-show. It is Best Director, and that is for Christopher Nolan with Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and then Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Tossing it your way, Dennis, who will win? Who should win?
Guillermo, I think, should win. I think he will win. While the other directors are fantastic, I think Guillermo, one, he's, I think, beloved by the Academy members. And I think this, he had a lot of buzz when he did Pan's Labyrinth, but it's been a while since then. So I think the Academy members are kind of rooting for him this time.
And if he wins, you're going to go buy his Funko Pop, right?
I'm going to buy it regardless. and then we're going to go watch Pacific Rim tomorrow. So yeah.
Good plan. I'm all on board. Ellis, what do you got in this category?
It just feels like Del Toro's year as far as best director goes. And I think that Jordan Peele might already have an Oscar under his belt by the time we get to the best director. So I think that that's going to be a nice win for him. But Guillermo del Toro, I think, is far and away the front runner to win best director, and I think he should.
All right. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, Rocha, but if you had to pick a second front runner who could take it from him, who would it be?
Greta Gerwig. I think there's the move with the Time's Up, the Me Too movement. All of this has been happening for the last few months. And I think it's been pushing this idea of recognizing female filmmakers, recognizing actresses, recognizing all the stuff, all the struggles they've been through for decades in this business. And there's a powerful movement through that. Plus, Greta Gerwig's on the cover of Time this week, and that tells you something. That's announcing her to the world even more so. So I think if Del Toro doesn't take it, and that's my odds-on favorite, I think Greta Gerwig could take it in a massive upset.
Would it influence y'all either way if either Gerwig or Jordan Peele won for Best Original Screenplay? Do you think that gives them more momentum or less, or do you think it matters at all for Best Director?
I don't know if that necessarily matters. I mean, everything really matters because it just gives you a sense of what voters are looking towards and what they're liking most, but I don't think those correlate as much. The one that I'm really looking at is who wins Best Director, because I want Del Toro to win. Surprise, surprise. I think he should win. And when he does win, the question then becomes, does that mean it's going to go with history, tradition, that it is then going to take the Best Picture award too? Because I think that's what the stats say, is that you win both. But I think in the last 4 out of 5 years, that hasn't been the case. So is this going to break that little trend that just happened, or is it going to go back to how it was before?
Yeah, I mean, there was a split at the Golden Globes. You had Guillermo winning for Best Director, and you had Best Picture for Three Billboards. So that could happen again tonight.
Yeah, I would be, if he wins Best Director, I think that Shape of Water has a better shot to win Best Picture. If he does not win Best Director, I'm going to start to get really nervous for Shape of Water winning Best
absolutely.
Picture. Then I'm afraid I'm going to hear Three Billboards, which I like Three Billboards. I just don't think it's the Best Picture.
And I wonder if they'll break the convention. You bring up screenplays. This is how they used to do it in the Academy. Like when you were an up-and-coming filmmaker, they gave you the screenplay to encourage you to keep going. They didn't give you the director stuff right off the bat. You had to earn it a little bit longer. So I wonder if they'll break that convention and give it to a newer director and not cop out by giving them just a screenplay award.
Well, like Tarantino has one for screenplay, but doesn't have one for director.
Right. Coen Brothers won screenplay before they ever won director. So, yeah.
I think what'll really shake it up for me is if Jordan Peele winds up walking away with this award. Because if he winds up taking this, then I'm going to look at that Best Picture category and say, well, that's pretty much over and done with. I think they would get both.
Let's say, this is not likely to happen. Let's say, imagine if Jordan Peele won Best Director. Is that just immediately going to say Get Out is winning Best Picture? Right?
I think it would suggest that. Not definitely, but if they vote for him in that category, I think it would definitely.
He's like kind of like a dark horse there. There's, and then Get Out.
I'll do a prop bet right now. If he wins for Best Director, then before they actually announce who won Best Picture, then I'll do a prop bet with somebody, because I think Get Out will win. If he wins Best Director, I think Get Out's winning Best Picture.
Wow.
Oh my, I'm looking forward to seeing what that bet is about.
I'm gonna lose a lot of money tonight, Perri.
I'm not gonna lose money. We're gonna do an Oscar pool here. I'm making you guys stick to what you say on this live show. There's no changing it after. You're gonna put your money down and you're gonna put these bets down.
It's purely entertainment.
Sore losers. You're intimidated by the competition. All right, let's move on to Best Actress. In that category, we have Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. We have Frances McDormand for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Margot Robbie is nominated for I, Tonya. Then Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. And then finally, we have Meryl Streep for The Post. Ellis, you're up first on this one. Is it that obvious who's going to win it?
Oh, it's not going to be that hack Meryl Streep, I'll tell you that much. I think it's going to be either Sally Hawkins or Frances McDormand, but I think Sally Hawkins should win. I think that her performance is just a little tougher to pull up, but Frances McDormand, take nothing away from her. She's earned it both with this movie and with her career, so I think that Frances McDormand would be a worthy winner. I think she's the one that's going to get it.
I feel like the acting categories this year are all pretty obvious predictions to make. I think almost every single one of them has already won a number of critics organizations, a number of guild awards. I mean, Frances McDormand in particular, she won the SAG Award and the BAFTA. There is no doubt in my mind that this is her award to lose. So I'm going with her for will win. Should win, I have to go Sally Hawkins. Her performance in that is just, it rattles me to my core. Every single time I watch that movie, I see more nuance and energy and charisma in that performance. And the amount of chemistry she has, not just with Doug Jones as the creature, but also with Richard Jenkins, with Octavia Spencer, even in her scenes with Michael Shannon. Some of those silent scenes with Michael Shannon are the most powerful of the entire film. Clearly, I want to see her take it so badly. I think Frances McDormand is great in 3 Billboards, and I think she has it this year. Dennis, what you got?
Yeah, Frances McDormand. I think she's won a lot of the awards preceding this. I think she will win, but who should win? I would actually go between Sally Hawkins and Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie's a far shot, but I think she did a fantastic job in I, Tonya. But because of what the subject matter is about in that movie, I think less people are willing to vote for it.
All right, Rocha, are you following the Frances McDormand train, or are you veering off?
If we're asking who should win, Frances McDormand should win, or will win rather. Who should win, I want to throw my hat in the ring for Margot Robbie. Okay. I absolutely think what she did with this film has to be respected and has to be lauded, because this is a very difficult performance to portray a woman who is, the subject of physical abuse, domestic violence, growing up with her family, a knife in her arm, like all the things that she endured in that movie. She was able to play them so well in a way we've never seen before, breaking the fourth wall in a way we've never seen before. This isn't Ferris Bueller saying something cute. This is a woman having her head slammed into the wall and talking to the camera. Look, I've seen Frances McDormand do what she did in 3 Billboards and other movies. I've seen the Sally Hawkins performance in Audrey Tautou and Amelie. So for me, Margot Robbie is the one that should win, but I know Frances will win. She's a powerhouse. It's undeniable.
How much ice skating did she actually do? I saw Tanya again recently, and it's great, and she's amazing in it. If she could actually pull off, I'll say a double axel, then I'd give her the trophy.
You could probably tell, given the fact that the face replacement is one of the biggest flaws of that entire. I love that film, but the face replacement, makes me cringe a little sometimes.
Natalie Portman had the same thing with Black Swan.
Yeah.
She won the actress award, but she had a lot of face replacement on hers as well.
Plus, you have Margot. This is an Australian woman who is conveying very believably an Oregon white trash type person, and fighting for her. It's just incredible what she did in the movie. So,
all right, we're going to move on to our Best Actor category right now, which features someone who needs no face replacement. But before we get to him, our nominees on this one are Timothée Chalamet for Call Me by Your Name. We also have Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. Then there's Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour. And finally, Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. So I'll just jump in right there, because you clearly know who I'm picking for will win. Same situation as Frances McDormand. He got SAG, he got BAFTA, amongst many other honors all throughout award season. This is his award to lose. I do not think he's losing it. If I could pick the winner, though, surprise, surprise, I would go with the star of my favorite movie of 2017, and that's Timothée Chalamet. He is just fantastic in that movie. Not to say that Gary Oldman didn't deserve the honor for Darkest Hour either, but I think that Chalamet's performance in that was the most moving for me of all the performances I saw last year. So I'm rooting for him to be this big surprise and upset, but I think I know the odds of that happening, and they are not in Timothée Chalamet's favor. Rocha, who do you have in this category?
Yeah, it's Gary Oldman. He's an actor who has deserved an Oscar many times over, and this isn't one of those courtesy Oscars. He is a force of nature in this movie, and incredible, and he disappears in the makeup, disappears in the performance. That scene with him and the King near the end, when he is having a crisis of confidence, a crisis of conscience, is some of the most incredible acting you'll ever see, vulnerable acting you'll ever see from an actor of his power. And so I think he deserves it. But if he doesn't, Chalamet would have been a great show. What he's able to do in that movie is really incredible. I finally saw it last week, and it's just phenomenal. But Gary Oldman is the winner here.
I was sure I was going to get a Gary Oldman impression out of you on that one, but
You cannot take the Oscar from me.
Yep. There you go. All right, Alice, who are you going with here? Gary Oldman?
Like you, Perry, I really want the kid from my favorite movie of 2017 to win. Unfortunately, the kid from Coco is not nominated for this category. So I'm going to go Darkest Hour. I think Gary Oldman's a shoo, and it's a Lifetime Achievement Award, but also a deserved one for his performance as Winston Churchill. I need to see that fan mashup of Darkest Hour and Dunkirk all in one movie.
Yeah.
I just think that'd be a tremendous 4-hour experience, and he's one of the biggest reasons why.
All right, Dennis, now I toss it to you, and I ask, do you think Timothée Chalamet has any chance, especially because I know you just watched Call Me By Your Name?
Does he have a chance? A very, very, very small chance. Even though I didn't love the movie like you did, I did think he delivered a wonderful performance in it. But yeah, it's Gary Oldman's year, and it's a combination. It's his performance as Winston Churchill and how he was able to blend in and become a chameleon like he always does in all his movies, and a lifetime achievement because he's one of those actors that everybody knows and loves and respects, and he always delivers like Oscar-worthy performances, but he doesn't always get the recognition. And this time, I think he's going to get it done.
All right, so we got one more acting category to hit right now. Oh, no, we have two. I can't count. First one is Best Supporting Actress. The nominees in that category are Mary J. Blige in Mudbound, Allison Janney in I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. Dennis, are we yet again going with the obvious frontrunner here?
Yeah, I mean, not unfortunately, but I mean, all signs point to
Allison Janney.
Allison Janney for I, Tonya. Though I will say that Laurie Metcalf should get a lot of recognition because I think what she does is kind of underappreciated in that movie. And so if there were someone to overtake Allison Janney, it would be her, but I still think Allison Janney will win and should win.
I'm a big fan of every single person in this category and think that all of this recognition is well deserved, but my will win is also my should win, especially having just rewatched I, Tonya again the other day. She is such a powerhouse in that movie, and I don't want to tiptoe near spoiling the movie for someone who hasn't seen it, but she has a couple of scenes, one in particular where there's a knife involved, and then there's another one more in the third act that involves a recorder, and the way she's able to make me think one thing and then completely disprove that, even though I've known what she's capable of the entire time, just how she twists and turns my expectations. It's not just about her sitting in front of a camera with a bird on her shoulder and like doing a shtick like that. There's so many layers to that performance and so much manipulation happening that really she is the front runner, and in my mind she is the front runner for a reason, so I'm definitely going with her. Ellis, how about you?
Allison Janney can do incredible things with alcohol, whether it's being the best supporting actress in a movie like The Way Back, where she was great in, and she was the drunk neighbor, or if it's something a little more serious like this, where she lends such a dark, even black comedy to this role. She is so haunting as the mother of Tonya Harding. I love Roseanne. Nobody loves Roseanne more than I do. Laurie Metcalf is so good, all the way back playing Jackie, and she's had a tremendous career. I'm so happy she's being recognized. I think Allison Janney will win and should win.
Are you going with it too, Rocha?
Yeah, I think Allison Janney. And that parrot. I mean, you can't discount the parrot. The parrot gets a little bit of assistance for what she was able to do in that film. She's just incredible in that movie. That whole movie hinges on those two performances, really. Margot Robbie and Allison Janney. There's
Sebastian Stan.
And Sebastian Stan does great work, and so does the guy playing Sean Eckhart. But those two are the ones you're following, and they do fantastic work. Laurie does great work in Lady Bird. In fact, she's the reason I love that movie more than Saoirse and anyone else in that movie. I really enjoyed what Laurie was doing. But I want to give some real love shout out to Mary J. Blige. You know what? It's something incredible to walk from a recording studio onto a set and knock it out of the park the way she did in Mudbound. So, you know, she's a lady I've loved her music since the 90s. To see her do this transition, it's really incredible.
So that's it for the acting categories. We're going to move. No, I didn't forget about that. I wish I was looking at the live chat right now to see how many people had a meltdown. No, not forgetting about Best Actor. In that category, our nominees are Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Rocha,
Yeah.
I'm giving you a softball here. Who's going to win?
If you say so. I don't know.
Ooh.
There's been some push against Sam Rockwell being nominated. There's been some push about his past, his stuff, this character being racist, and is it forgiving people? So there's been a little bit of a push. Now, do I think he will win? Yes, I think eventually he will win. However, I want to give a shout out to Richard Jenkins. I would love it if Richard Jenkins slid in here and took this thing. This is a lifetime actor who's done incredible work in multiple different genres. See him in Step Brothers, then you see him in The Visitor, then you see him in something like this. The man is a phenomenal, phenomenal actor, and I love that he's been nominated. I would love it if he snuck in there and took it, but I just don't think anyone's stopping. There's not enough push against a Sam Rockwell winning this thing.
Do you agree?
To quote Richard Jenkins in Step Brothers, I'm going to go to the Cheesecake Factory, have a drink. I think that Richard Jenkins is a great talent. He'd be a worthy win in my mind, as would Sam Rockwell. I'm pulling for Willem Dafoe. I want to see Willem Dafoe win this. I do not think this is a slam dunk category by any stretch of the imagination. So I actually think Willem Dafoe will pull the upset. I think he should and will win. You're my boy.
No, I think I'm thinking that this is a lock again. I don't know. You just can't have people walk away with so many awards so consistently throughout the entire season and then have this veer off. Of course, we always have surprises every year, but I just get the feeling like they're not going to happen in the acting categories. What I have my eye on for the surprises are the director and best picture, that one or the other might veer off course. But with these acting ones, I have to go Sam Rockwell, even though I am rooting so hardcore for Willem Dafoe. When I saw the Florida Project and when I started to hear the buzz behind the Florida Project, I thought this was going to be his year no matter what. And even though I thought 3 Billboards was great, that came out, and I feel like it was just a couple of weeks later that it really started to pop in terms of it being on the awards circuit. So I think Willem Dafoe deserves it. Not that Sam Rockwell doesn't, but Willem Dafoe is so good in the Florida Project. His chemistry with Mooney and her mother, and just the way he walks around that motel operating the entire thing, he radiates warmth, but also like he has a sense of control over what's happening there. And I just love the way that they weave that character in to Mooney's story.
And there's so much more on his character, in my opinion, to do in the Florida Project than there is for Rockwell's character to do in 3 Billboards. Like, again, it's a good performance. And I love Sam Rockwell. He was also great in The Way Back. But I think that this is just that I think it's nuts that Willem Dafoe is not the front runner in this category, because he had so much more to do. Still a supporting actor, but I think that his performance outshines anything else that I've seen in this category, especially from Sam Rockwell.
I got to give Sam Rockwell a lot of credit for that arc, though, because not many actors could pull off what he did in 3 Billboards. But again, I'm Willem Dafoe. What side do you fall on, Dennis?
Yeah, this one's tough. I mean, I'm going to go with Sam Rockwell. I love him. I thought he deserved a nomination when he did Moon.
Yeah.
But in terms of this category for this year, I want William Dafoe to win, because Mark, you're right. He had a lot more to do. I mean, that scene with no spoilers, but the guy that wants to get the soda, like that scene is excellent, and his performance in that scene particularly was very moving. But the only issue is not that many people have watched the Florida Project.
Yeah, I think if it had been nominated or if it had gotten more publicity, there's no way Dafoe isn't on that shelf.
Yeah, but I have a feeling like just not enough people saw it. And like we talked about with Get Out, it might be one of those things where like, I'm not going to watch that, and they'll just scratch off who they, think should win.
It's such a shame if that's the reason that something like this happens, but so it goes. Human beings voting for an award, you never know what factors come into play. I brought up what I think the surprises of the night might be, but I'm curious what your take is. Are you guys going with a big category for a surprise, or are we going to see it in one of the technical categories maybe?
I'm going with the screenplay. I think that the big surprise of the entire evening could be adapted screenplay, because the guy with the claws had a really good movie come out, and it was called Logan, and it's nominated. I do not think it's going to win. Unfortunately, I do not think it's going to get over the Call Me By Your Name hump. I think Call Me By Your Name is not going to win Best Picture. I don't think it's going to win any of the major categories, but I do think that it's going to win a consolation prize in Best Adapted Screenplay, but it also has to get by The Disaster Artist, too. Then you move over to Original Screenplay. That category is so stacked. 3 Billboards is nominated, and I think it's the 5th best one in there. So you also have a movie like Get Out, which I think could contend. Lady Bird could contend. I'm going with Get Out for Best Original Screenplay.
So some of the predictions I've read for the original screenplay is that we might be in a situation where Get Out and Lady Bird cancel out each other, and that's why it would wind up going to 3 billboards. But
because all the youths vote for either Lady Bird or Get Out, and then all the old people with transition glasses vote for the more stalwart of the 3.
I didn't say it, you did.
Hey, guy.
You look great in
They're
your
very nice
transition
glasses. All right, Rocha, what's your wild card that you want to bring up right now? But also, where do you think we're going to see the big surprise tonight?
I think the big surprise might actually be in Best Director. I really do think that. I think that's the category that's scary all around, and anything could happen. So many movements happen at the same time, all this stuff going on. I just think something could happen to show the Academy is making a step forward. We shall see. But my wild cards are absolutely Best Animated Feature, Coco, and then, of course, Best Song. As the Greatest Showman fan, currently Ad Collider, I would say This Is Me is going to take it. Although I keep hearing this undercurrent for Coco, the
Give
Coco
me
song.
Coco. Give
So
me
we'll
Remember
see.
Me all
We'll
day
see.
long. Nobody's going to be singing The Greatest Showman in 5 years.
You're
but
crazy. We're
Remember
all gonna
Me
be singing
is
that
going
in
to be
5 years.
a generational song that families sing to one another for decades to come.
I hope that's the case. This Is Me is so catchy.
It's infectious.
And not that the wording in Remember Me
Right.
isn't meaningful, but
The lyrics.
there's something about the lyrics
Yeah.
in the Greatest Showman song that is really popping, and it rattles you. And I don't know, I think that one might get the momentum it needs. I love how you managed to give credit to both films, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
if we just blocked you into Best Song, you would have been in big trouble.
I would have, yes.
All right, Dennis, what is your wild card, and where are we seeing surprises tonight?
Well, my wild card is something I think a ton of people, especially within the industry, is hoping for, is Roger Deakins winning for Best Cinematography
Yeah.
for Blade Runner 2049. It's been a long time coming. I think he has like 14 nominations, still hasn't won. He's shot some of the most beautiful films that we've seen in movie history. So I think this year is his year. It's not going to be it'd be a bigger surprise if he doesn't win. In terms of surprises, I think I'm going with either in the supporting actor or actress category. Maybe you might see the William Dafoe take over, beat Sam Rockwell. You might see Laurie Metcalf beat Allison Janney. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's those 2 categories because they're smaller.
Okay. Clearly, I don't agree, but I don't need to. I don't need to rehash my surprises because I told them to you before. But for my wild card right now, I do want to highlight the short films because I feel like those do get wildly overlooked, even though they are nominated for Academy Awards. And having watched a bunch of them recently, it is kind of incredible how powerful a story can be in that short running time, especially compared to some of the not so great movies that we see coming out of the studio system right now that are just being pumped full of money. And then you give me like a 5 to 10 minute short and I'm just completely floored. And one of the ones that did it to me in the best documentary short subject category is that Edith and Eddie. It is just... That is a heartbreaking true story, and that is the one that I'm pegging for the win in that category. In the animated short one, I think that you see you grinning already. I think Dear Basketball is gonna win.
Let's go, Kobe.
One, because of Kobe's name, and it just, again, these awards will come down to what people have seen, and I do have a feeling that a lot of people will go out and check that out because of Kobe's name.
And John Williams.
But and John Williams too, because I was at the Hollywood Bowl and Kobe came out on stage and they played the short and the score. It was incredible.
Is Kobe at the ceremony tonight?
I'm
Was he
assuming
walking the
he's
red carpet?
gonna
That'd be
be.
the only reason for me to watch, which is sad.
He better. Would you care about what he's wearing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Kobe Bryant. He's Kobe Bean Bryant. Of course I care what he's wearing.
But I do have to give Dear Basketball some credit because even though I think that's what's going to push it to victory, it is still a very powerful love letter to the sport that has shaped his life. And really, if you've loved anything to that degree, something like that is going to rattle and touch you. But then the other one I have my eye on is Lou, because Lou is from Pixar. And even though I didn't think it was as powerful maybe as Dear Basketball, I think Dear Basketball moved me a little more. Like, Lou is super sweet and it's Pixar, so that one I think does have a chance. But of all the shorts that I watched for the Oscars, I think my absolute favorite is DeKalb Elementary, and that one is in the best live action category, especially given what's going on right now, because it is about a potential school shooter. And I mean, the way it is shot and the way the 2 lead performances are captured, it just... like, it will get you to the core. And it's also not what you would expect hearing that super simple log line. And it gives you so much more insight into what a situation like that might be like for just in terms of how the wheels are turning in people's heads when they're presented with a terrifying situation like that. So
I got one more wild
anything
card.
else?
I think the crowd is going to be.
I could see.
I think the crowd is going to be good tonight for Kimmel because
there we
usually
go.
that crowd is just dead up top. There's literally in comedy club terms, these people don't even have time to order their drinks before they start the show. They get off the red carpet, they're in there, and all of a sudden the show starts. There's no opening act. You get the headliner right out there, and it's a tough room. I think Kimmel crushes it this year. I'm looking forward to seeing that monologue.
Agree?
Yeah, I will. And watch out for Dunkirk.
Ooh.
Watch out for Dunkirk.
What is that? That doesn't even mean
all I'm
anything.
gonna say.
No, you got to put something. What's it going to win?
Older Academy voters might slide into this. We've seen this before where a film like this comes out and the older Academy voters give it a lot of love. So
I think it's going to win a lot of technical.
It could win
stuff.
Best Picture. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're holding you to this.
Yeah,
you know.
please.
All right, Dennis, I'm giving you a couple last words here. Are they any more insightful than Rocha's?
No, not at all. Because I don't want to go out on a limb and make crazy talk about
That's right.
that.
Yeah, play safe. Everybody play it safe. That's right. Way to go.
I just hope we don't have an incident like last year with the Best Picture.
That's not going to happen.
and they're presenting.
Yeah, they are. Dunaway and Beatty
Well,
are
but
back.
Does it bothers you?
present Best
really?
Picture?
Yeah, they're presenting
Why?
Best
Yeah,
Picture.
They
It
want
really
to
bothers
redo
me.
it. They want to redo it.
I think it's great. I think hopefully ABC doesn't pressure them into faking it again this year like they did last year.
Don't go there.
Oh,
Don't go
conspiracy.
there. I'll save all that. But I kind of like that they're presenting.
I think
I
it's
mean,
great.
really, one way or the other, what does it really matter? But it wasn't their fault. They were not involved in anything.
it
so
I hope they
their
read the
fault.
thing, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is La La Land.
It was their fault for not showing up to rehearsals.
I wouldn't be surprised
was
if
not
part
their
of the
fault.
if they joke at the beginning
Oh, of course
and
they
they
will.
mention
It was
La
the
La
guy that was
Land.
tweeting when he should have been minding
Yeah.
the envelopes.
Yep.
Exactly.
It wasn't their fault. It came from above. It came from the producers.
It's all going to run smoothly, just like the rest of our programming here on Collider Video tonight. We will be back at 5 p.m. PST on the dot. You are going to be able to watch a live stream all night long. We're going to cut in during the commercial breaks, let you know what we think about the ceremony, who wins, and a lot more stuff that's going on. Then after the ceremony wraps up, come back because we're going to have a post show where we get to talk about all the winners. It's going to be a blast. We'll all see you there. Enjoy the Oscars.
Hey everybody, Mark Ellis here. Thanks for watching this episode of Collider Movie Talk. You want to watch more? Then click up here, or you can click right here for more great content from Collider. And if you haven't subscribed to Collider Video, do so right now and share this vid with your friends. Thanks for watching.